What's really good? It's your boy Jay Real. Welcome back to another episode. Now, what I normally do on Writer's Block is a lot of hip hop. You know what I mean? Because that's what this channel is about for the most part. You know what I mean? But the reason why I want to do the Frank Lucas story is because it's hip hop influenced. You know what I mean? Like hip hop was influenced by people like Frank Lucas and people from that time. And we also know Jay-Z made an album, you know what I mean, American Gangster, after the movie, you know what I mean, American Gangster. But the name of the book is Original Gangster, you know what I mean, the real life story of one of America's most notorious drug lords. You know what I mean? Now this is Frank Lucas. He wrote this joint with Aaliyah S. King. You know how that go. He tells her the story, she writes it down, she puts it, edits and does all the great things that she has to do for it. So let's just start at the beginning. Now, in the movie, you're going to hear me say in the movie a lot, okay? Because, like I said, now, the thing we do here at Writer's Block is we go by the book. And if you're going to go by the book, go by the book. You feel what I'm saying? So, you're gonna hear me reference the movie a lot. Because the movie left out a lot of details. It was a good movie, though. Shout out to Denzel, of course. But, for instance, in the movie, it said he was born in Greensboro. Not true. He's from LaGrange, North Carolina, not Greensboro. So anybody from Greensboro, sorry, he's not from there. So I don't know, maybe even in Greensboro, I hope y'all don't think he's from there because he's not. But let's start from the beginning. Now, mind you, he's like 70 years old when he wrote this book. You understand? And I think he wanted to write this to clear up a lot of things from the movie and stuff like that. Now, let's get straight to it. Okay. Now, it starts out rough, man. So, his favorite cousin, Obadiah Biden, okay, was accused by the KKK of looking at a white girl, or you know how that go, trying to flirt with a white girl. And we're talking in the summer of 1936. You understand? Summer of 1936. My grandparents were teenagers then. So, yeah, because my grandfather was born in 1914, 15. So anyway, so we gotta understand the time of these type of situations. Now, so they come to the crib, they yelling like, "Yo, come outside!" You know what I mean? We finna get you for what you so-called did to this white woman. You know what I mean? So they come to get him. Now, mind you, Frank's like, how old is he at this particular time? He's like 4 or 5 years. No, he's 6. He's 6 years old. Matter of fact. So can you imagine how traumatizing that is for a 6-year-old to see the KKK come out there and beat his cousin pretty much to death? Man, it's crazy. He said they threw a thick rug covering his cousin up. You know what I mean? Said you ought to know better than to be staring at no white girl around here. Said one of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, wow, that's crazy. This boy was 13 years old. You see what I'm saying? He said he saw something that morning that no child should ever see. I was a witness to something so bloody, brutal, and vicious that I have never been the same. So, and you got to realize how traumatizing that is for a 6-year-old. They took that gun and put it so far, they broke his teeth out, put it all the way to as far as they could in that boy's mouth and did what they did to him, right? He said, he seen the damage that they did to his cousin, and he was never the same. And I can understand why. So let's see. After that happens, he pretty much, let me get to my highlights. Give me 1 second. Okay, boom. Know what I mean? Why isn't my highlight coming up? Hold on. My highlights, man. I said highlights. Okay, here we go. Sorry. Okay, now. So after all of that, you know what I mean? You know how that goes. So he pretty much got up out of there. You know what I mean? Like I said, his cousin was barely 13. Now this is him. His at 13 now. Okay. Let me see. He was on his own as a youngin'. You know what I mean? So he got on the bus to Kentucky and stopped in Knoxville. Like mind you, this kid, he's a kid out here on the road by himself. So he out there getting it in as a youngin', you know what I mean? Gambling and all kinds of stuff, stealing to survive. You know what I mean? This is what he had endured in his life, you know what I mean? So, you know, he's there, he gets into it with some people there. There was gambling. And you know, he was winning. You know what I mean? So, you know how that goes. Who this young nigga think he is? So they was like, yo, you ain't going nowhere with my money, man. So he was like, yo, dude was fearless. He was like, man, fuck y'all niggas. You know what I mean? So they got into it. He had to get up out of that situation. You know what I mean? It was crazy. So let's see. That's there and then. You know what I mean? Now the crazy thing is, he met one of his homeboys in Harlem, right? Ironically, the dude that he asked him about was his cousin from Durham. Ain't a small world, man, all the way up in Harlem. He was like, yeah, that's my people. Word? You know what I mean? Because what you don't know is Frank Lucas kept a lot of like Southern people around him, even though he was in Harlem. You know what I mean? He kind of tried to keep his Southern, you know what I mean, Southern roots with him, I guess, if you will. Which I could kind of understand that, you know what I mean? So, you know, he doing his 1-2. You know what I mean? He got locked up. All kinds of shit. You know what I'm saying? He was messing with this white girl. Yeah, he got this job. And he was messing with the white girl. So, you know how that go. They caught him. And he had to get up out of that situation. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, dang, boy. So, let me see. Let's go here. Bong, bong. Bong, bong. Yeah. Fletcher said, MP. He said, do you know MP? He's like, MP from North Carolina? He's like, yeah, that's my man. That's my people. Word. Wow. You know what I mean? So, so he wants to get some money, of course, right? So he like, yo, you know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to get that. You know what I mean? I'm trying to get some money. So he said, I'll tell you what, I can take you to old man Pop, and he could throw you, you know what I'm saying, put you in the game. So he go to him, he said, yo, how much you need? So he started off with a little half ounce. So he doing this 1-2 with that. You know how that go, double up, you know what I mean? Double up or whatever. And now he's doing what he got to do. I'm trying to keep these highlights together, y'all. My bad. I don't want to be dragging this along, but so yeah, man, he robbing, stealing. He's really doing everything he can to survive. He's homeless. Like, this boy really was homeless. He's like 13, 14 in New York by himself. No family, nothing. He out here homeless, literally homeless, bumming, right? Stealing and shit, trying to survive. So he fucked around and, robbing Cash trying to kill him and shit. So then let's get to the good shit, man. Let's just get to the good shit. Fuck it. So boom, he had the pool hall and shit, right? And you know how that goes. He's young. So this fucking dude, man, what's his fucking name? Dude named Ice Pick. He's like an asshole. You know what I mean? You know, whooping niggas ass, stealing niggas shit, all kinds of shit, right? So he's like, yo, which one of y'all punk ass niggas want to play me? Now y'all gonna have to excuse my language, but this is just how this story is gonna be told. So he's like, yo, which one of y'all punk ass niggas trying to play me in some pool? So he's like, yo, I'll do it. He's like, man, get out of here, kid. You too young, man. Shut up. He's like, man, I'll play you. I ain't scared of you. You know what I mean? So he beat him for his money. He's like, man, I'm finna kill this little boy. You know what I mean? So you know how that go. They like, oh yeah, y'all got me fucked up. So anyway, boom, boom, boom. Next thing you know, this is kind of fast forwarding a little bit. And again, I'm just reviewing this and like briefly saying stuff. So y'all guys go check it out yourself. But so, you know, he's like, yo, get the fuck out of here. He's like, nah, what's up? So somebody from behind says, yo, can you beat him? Now mind you, he don't look and see who it is. He's like, yeah, I could beat him. You sure? He said, yeah, I bet. So he put the money on the kid. Come to find out, that's Bumpy Johnson. Now, this is how he met Bumpy Johnson, okay, at the pool table. He said, all right, I'll bet my money on you then. Bumpy already knew who he was. He already heard about his reputation in the street, robbing niggas and shit. So I'm pretty sure he already kind of knew who Frank was just from hearing about him. Because, you know, if you in the street like that, you got your ear to the streets. So he was paying attention. So, okay, boom. Now, mind you, Bumpy Johnson was from South Carolina. He's from North Carolina. So that was already kind of like a little connection, if you will, you know, being from the South. So they was like, all right, cool, whatever. So, you know, he took him up on it. he beat him. You know what I mean? Made sure he got his little money. Then next thing you know, he started driving for him. Now this is something I want to say to y'all about him driving for him. Hold on. Boom, 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 boom. All right. Now his wife, Bumpy Johnson's wife, wrote a book also about being the wife of Bumpy Johnson. Now in her book, she was saying he was just Bumpy Johnson's little flunky. This is what she was saying. And in his book, he said something about it. He said, if that's how she feel, he ain't gonna disrespect her. And I ain't gonna lie, that was kind of noble of him, because he could have easily been like, man, that she don't know what she talking about, all kinds of stuff. But he didn't do that. He was just like, if that's how she seen it, then that's cool. You know what I mean? Because he had respect for Bumpy, so he won't go disrespect his wife like that. And I understand that. So, you know what I mean? He paying him a little money, you know what I mean? He driving him around or whatever. So he gets him the spot, let him watch over a spot, you know what I mean? But that ain't enough for him. He like, man, this ain't enough. Like, it's just starting to get repetitive to him, you know what I mean? He's just kind of getting bored with it. Now, when Bumpy died, according to the book, Frank Lucas was there. But they say that that's not true. I don't know. I wasn't there. You know what I mean? But that's how they did that. And now, also according to the book, he talked about Malcolm X. How, you know, Bumpy and Malcolm X was friends. And he was like, all his associates, he said, this guy named Detroit Red didn't speak to him, of course. So he met Malcolm when he was Detroit Red. You see what I'm saying? But that wasn't Malcolm X then. That was Detroit Red. So you know how that go. That's when he was in the streets. So, but he said they didn't have no conversation and something. I ain't gonna lie. I kind of like the fact that he didn't try to throw it in there like, yeah, I knew Malcolm X. You know what I mean? He met him. But of course, at the time, he's just Detroit Red. So it's like, okay, he's just another cat from the streets. But that ended up being Malcolm X. Rest in peace, Malcolm X. So boom, boom. One time, Bumpy expected his share of the Jews from a robbery. But instead he was sent some fake gems. Know what I mean? Ooh. You playing with your life, playing with Bumpy Johnson, kid. So, you know, he had to go get his face back on that. Let's see. Let's go. Let's keep going with some more highlights, man. But Bumpy was schooling him, though. You know what I mean? So his wife did confirm that he knew him, but I guess they're trying to say he didn't know him like he tried to portray it, I guess. Again, we're going by the book. So if you're going to go by the book, go by the book. So anyway, when they gave them fake Jews, he's like, yo, somebody's finna go get these dudes. Know what I mean? He's like, nah, we ain't doing that. You know what I mean? That ain't how we moving. So anyway, so Bump get locked up. You know what I mean? Let's see. Oh, and another thing I seen in here, he said, if Bumpy Johnson was into selling drugs, he never seen it. That's what he said. He said he never seen any drugs around Bumpy. He never seen Bumpy sell any drugs. That's not saying Bumpy didn't. But I think, for me, he kind of just stuck to the code. You know what I mean? Like, hey, if he did, I ain't see it. I don't know. You know what I mean? So I kind of respect him on that, too. Now, let's see here. Oh, so dude was a playboy, man. He was out here hitting mad shorties, too. Because he was doing his thing, right? So he ended up getting with this one shorty, or whatever, and she got pregnant. But, you know, he kind of didn't really care about the woman. Like, that's just who he was. He just was like, yo, whatever. So one day, not one day, but she got pregnant. So he's like, okay, finna have a baby, whatever. But, you know, now mind you, he already had some twins back home in North Carolina. Crazy. So, boom. So, you know, he out cheating, doing his thing. So you know how that go. A woman can't take that shit. She get mad. She had an abortion. So he's like, bitch, like fuck you type shit. I mean, I kind of don't blame him, because I ain't really with that abortion shit myself. But hey, teachers on. We ain't finna get political up here. So so he thinking she had a miscarriage. She's like, nah, that's not what happened. And the thing about it is, because they was married, you know what I mean? And let me tell you something about this right here, man. He ran into a few years later, because she went down to Mexico and divorced him and shit, right? So he said he didn't care. So anyway, she was like, I'm still Mrs. Lucas. I never changed my name. He said, well, you should have, and kept on walking. Oh my God. This dude, yo, come on. He said, you should have, and kept right on going like, yo, I don't fuck with you, bitch. You know what I mean? I'm like, okay. You know what I mean? You can't really get mad at that. But, you know what I mean? Let's see. He said he didn't eat lamb down south, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Now, like I was saying about Bumpy Johnson, he died. You know what I mean? They say the way he said it is from my understanding, isn't true. But I don't know why he would say that. If that's, I don't understand that part. Why would he make that up like that? You know what I mean? Because they say that's really not true. He wasn't there when Bumpy died. So when Bumpy died, he, according to the book, he took over Bumpy's establishments and stuff like that. Went and collected the money that was owed to him, which was like $3 million. So, you know, that's what got him right. So he got his $3 million. And he's like, okay, instead of me buying dope from you, why don't I just cut the middleman out and go get it myself? Now, mind you, the movie just showed him go over there, talk a little bit, come back, get money. No, in all actuality, he stayed over there for like a couple of months. You see what I'm saying? And he actually got like real sick because he wanted to go to the poppy fields and see how the dope was. And what's crazy about that, he said, man, when he went to the poppy fields, it was so big, all you could see was just poppy fields. Like you couldn't see nothing else. I'm like, damn. You know what I mean? And it was covered with some kind of like blankets, if you will, so that the planes and shit flying over couldn't really see him. You know what I mean? Because they was, you know. So I'm like, okay. So boom. So he go get the dope himself. Make sure it gets to the military base. Now this isn't when he was used the dead bodies. Now the movie again made it seem like he was using dead bodies. He said he actually only did that like once. He said he wasn't doing that shit like that, and he didn't even really like when he had to do it that time, but he had to because of circumstances. But he said he only did that shit like once. He wasn't doing that shit like that. That's what he said. You feel what I'm saying? So he went over there and got 500 of them joints. Yeah, 500. So he come back, he booming. So that's how he was moving. You know what I mean? So now he said, now listen to this. He said, I need to make this clear. I did not want to do this. I didn't get a thrill out of it. You see what I'm saying? He said it's not what he wanted to do with the dead bodies. Because some people thought he actually was putting dope in people's body. No, he was actually, what they did was the carpenter dude that he paid like 100 racks. Excuse me. Like makeshift the coffins. Know what I mean? Where he put the dope at the bottom of the coffin. You know what I mean? So he wasn't putting it inside the casket with him. I mean, technically, but you know what I mean. But again, he said he didn't like that shit. So it's not like he just did that. Let me see. Oh, and another thing. Now, so when he starts getting money, of course, he brings his parents and of course his family members up there, whatever. Now, in the movie, they just showed his mom. But in actuality, it was his mom and dad. You see what I'm saying? So, and his mom, you know how that goes. She kind of asked him like, what you do? Like, cause you got we got this big house and all this. What do you do? He's just kind of like, don't worry about that, Mom. I told you I got a lot of businesses. You know what I mean? He ain't really want his mom to know that he was selling dope. So, okay. So he's doing this 1-2. You know what I mean? And another thing, how they put it in the movie about his brothers and all that selling dope. He said he didn't want to put his brothers on. See, the movie tried to make it seem like he went and got his brothers and shit. Like, come on. Nah, actually, his brothers was in Jersey doing their own shit. And he was like, nah, I'm not putting y'all in the game. But since they gonna do it anyway, he was like, well, I'll tell you what, they gonna sell dope anyway. So I'm gonna let them buy it from me, and they gonna get it at the cheapest price because they his people. So they was doing their own thing. He wasn't doing that with him. That's another thing, according to the book, right? Now, I ain't gonna lie, I found this part pretty interesting myself. When he met Melvin Combs. To those that don't know who Melvin Combs is, that's P. Diddy's father. Now, P. Diddy's father was a hustler. That's a fact. And he ended up getting killed because somebody tried to say that he snitched, but they ain't really confirmed that. You know how that go. Word of mouth get around is how it go. But the dude that from my understanding, the dude that killed Puff's dad, he got killed too. And Frank was like, yeah, I'm glad he got what he deserved, because he didn't like how he did Melvin Combs. You say Melvin Combs is pretty boy. It's like the way we see Diddy is probably the way the street seeing his father the same way. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, pretty nigga, get money ass nigga, flamboyant, you know what I mean? Type of dude. It's probably where Diddy got it from. And all the other stuff, I don't know. You know what I mean? So anyway, so he ain't really like that. So let me see. I see you got plenty of that. My mother said, my father sitting in front of, you know what I mean? Just like, whatever. That's crazy. Because it's crazy how they just mix up the story in the book. I mean, in the movie, but the book just tells you so much more. That's why you should always get the book. That's my opinion, though. Let's see. Let me see. Oh, just like his nephew. Yeah, his nephew played baseball, but his nephew, like the guy that played, that T.I. played, he really did set him up a joint with the Yankees. Bro, do you know what kind of connections this dude really had? But he didn't show up. That is fucked up. And he really wanted to whoop that boy ass. Now in the movie they kind of showed it a little bit, but in real life, yo, he really, really wanted to hurt that boy for that. Cause he's like, yo, he didn't want him to be selling dope. But he was looking at it like, well, why would I go play baseball when I can sell dope with you and get 10 times more than what they get? And they getting scraps compared to what he was getting. But he just didn't want that lifestyle for his people. Not the way they try to do it in the movie. Okay? Now, again, there wasn't nothing he could do to stop his brothers and them from selling dope, so he made sure they got it at the cheapest price. I get it. Know what I mean? When he met his wife, now this is the wife from the movie, not the first wife. The Puerto Rican shorty. Now, I'm not saying this to be funny. But I don't understand how, if you get with this man and he got all this money, you don't think he doing something illegal, shorty? You just, where do you get all this money from? What do you think? Like, come on. I get playing dumb, but come on. So anyway, so then, you know what I mean? Like, it was a lot more to this book than just the movie. So I just want to give y'all little snippets and pieces of that or whatever. And like, even with the movie itself, you know what I mean? He wasn't, I ain't gonna say he wasn't happy about the movie. I think he was grateful that Denzel played him. He kind of spoke on that. But he also said when they had a premiere of the movie and they pulled up, he was like, yo, drive around the block. Just drive around the block. So he's like, all right. So they like, yo, you gonna go in? It's the premiere. He was like, nah, take me home. Because now you got to remember, when he was in the game, he didn't really have a conscience. But when he really got out of the game, he felt some kind of way about a lot of the lives that he destroyed and stuff like that. So I understand it, you know what I mean? But he felt real guilty about it. He didn't want to see it. He just didn't want to see it portrayed. I don't blame him though. You know what I mean? Because he was like, he seen the lives that he destroyed. And he was like, nah, I don't want to be celebrated. You know what I mean? This ain't no celebration. This shit was wrong. So I ain't gonna lie, that was pretty noble of him. Let's see here. Yeah, man. It's a good book, man. You gotta read it for yourself. I ain't gonna tell y'all everything, man, but I think y'all should go check it out and come to the conclusion for yourself. Again, it's the Frank Lucas joint, Original Gangster. Now, like I said, it's so much more to this book than that damn movie. I swear. But again, they try to say he was lying in this book. I don't know, man. Like I said, I just think it's a good book, personally. Now, when they show about him telling on the police, he said his homeboy was pretty much like, tell on the cops. Now, people say, oh, he was a snitch. That's still snitching. Technically it is, but you got to look at the shit he went through. So I'm looking at it like he felt like he was doing justice for his cousin. Like how the KKK did him, the police did him. Like how the police did him when he was locked up down south. You know what I mean? They was trying to keep him there for life on a slave plantation. Old head snuck him up out that joint. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta you gotta think about his relationship with the police, man. So I get it. You know what I mean? Again, snitching is snitching. I know. But is it fuck the police or not? I'm confused with y'all. So yeah. So, and then like he said, like people think Richie Roberts arrested him like he did in the movie. He said that's not true. You know what I mean? He said, I've never laid eyes on Richie until the day he came to see me. That was when he was locked up. He did not lock him up like the movie tried to portray. Now, you got to remember, movies are loose. They based loosely on the truth. You can't take that, you know what I mean, with a grain of salt. Same way with the book. I mean, I know how it go. But, again, like he said, never snitched on no other dealers. Nothing like that. So y'all make it seem like he was just a rat ass nigga. I get it, but I think it's a little more to it than that. Let's see here. Now, when this fool got locked up, right? I don't want to say fool, but when he gets locked up, he gets out, and yo, so he's going back and forth from like Texas to Jersey, and he's staying with his son. So his PO called him and said, "Hey, you gotta come to the office right now." He was like, "I ain't gonna be able to come right now. I come tomorrow." Cause his PO knew he was out of town. He was like, "Y'all say I come tomorrow." He was like, "Nah, you come right now. I'm gonna violate you." He said, "I tell you what, catch me if you can." Hung up on that nigga. I said, "Yo, this dude crazy. Dude didn't play no games." You know what I mean? I'm like, he was a gangster. What you expect? So, you know what I mean? So he bounced. You know what I mean? Police came to his mom's crib. And, you know, when they came to arrest him, he was like, "Yo, just give me a minute to say bye to my mom." So, you know what I mean? So he went in there, woke his mom up, said, "Hey, Mom, I got to go." You know what I mean? They outside. So they actually sat there and let him say peace to his moms. That's kind of cool, I guess. I don't know, because most of the time police be like, "Man, fuck your mom. You going to jail, nigga." You know what I mean? So, yeah, man. And between all of that, man, like this dude was spitting out kids left and right. But he always wanted better for his kids. He just didn't want them to do what he did. But he didn't know nothing else. I mean, he got out, went right back to selling drugs again, got locked up again. I mean, personally, I think he sold drugs until the day he died. That's just my opinion. But that's all he really knew. You know what I mean? Now, granted, I'm pretty sure he got his book money and stuff too. But, you know. So, again, man, it's your boy J Real at Writer's Block, man. And like I said, if you want to go by the book, go by the book, man. Peace.